We're using video audio. Are we live? Are we live? Live. I think we're live. Invite people to appear on your video screen. Hello, everybody. This is my first time here doing this solo for a long time. Welcome to our morning show on Thursday, 10 o'clock. The office work. Today, welcome. My name is Michael Loden. I've got to introduce myself, founder of Final Step International Incorporated. All right, this is what it looks like. I haven't done this in a while, but boom, if you can see that, okay. And also the creator of the method, the needs-based method. Okay, you can see that, get you an idea of what's going on. That's a 7-step program that we use to give you some understanding and awareness of the situation you're in, the behavior that you're doing, so you can change it, okay? So we got some interesting questions this week. The questions we're going to focus on are these. One, how to forgive yourself. All right, that's a big one. How do you forgive yourself? How do you give yourself a break in situations that you have found yourself making decisions that don't benefit you at all, okay? So that's question number one. Question number two, how do you love yourself? To love yourself. What does that mean? What do you do? How do you do it? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to answer the question of how to love yourself. When someone says, how do you love yourself? Well, how do you? Okay? How do you love yourself? What does it take? What do you need? As a matter of fact, I've had 2 new clients, and that was one of the goals that they had was I want to learn how to love myself. I said, okay. And I asked the question, so why don't you think you love yourself? And they gave me this blank look. And so what we need to do is we need to go back and see, how did you create your self-image? Then we go back to limiting beliefs. We go back to what was said, how they say it, who didn't show up. All the things it takes for you to think about how you think about yourself today. So when we go back, the first thing you need to do is you need to have, well, it talks about emotions. Okay, well, emotions come from somewhere, right? Emotions are indicator lights. And depending on what kind of emotion shows up will depend what need is being met or not met, okay? So, if you're angry, sad, if you are frustrated, if you're constantly, you constantly have anxiety, we'll call them the negative emotions for lack of a better word. Well, there's certain needs that are not being met, such as physical affection, tenderness, we'll call it love and affection, maybe friendship, contribution. Here it is. Security of home and family, trust, being heard. All these things aren't happening. You're not getting anything. Okay? So when you think about how do you love yourself, how do you love yourself, think about what you never got. And when you look at this sheet, look at our worksheet on our website, and you can download it for free. You can see, wow, I didn't get this, and this for these certain people. Well, if you don't get them, a certain emotion is going to show up. And if a certain emotion shows up, that's the reason why. So then you, the individual, will personalize what you never got from those individuals and start creating your self-image, your own self-image, and start sort of beating yourself down over the years because it's continuous, okay? And another thing that shows up is you look back at your life and the decisions you made that weren't beneficial. So think about what you did back then. Maybe, you were stealing. Maybe you were, promiscuous. Maybe you were dropped out of school. Maybe you thought that, something that didn't benefit you in the long run was beneficial in the moment. And that's what I tell people. I said, well, how was your state of mind at the time? What did you think you were going to gain by doing what you were doing at that moment? Okay? So at the time, it made sense probably. Maybe you were desperate. Maybe the drug use was important to you at the time. It helped cover up pain, but in the long run, it's probably going to be detrimental to your future, earnings, your future progress, for social and emotional. And so so in that regard, you gotta kind of, forgive yourself. You gotta give yourself a break. At the time, it was beneficial, but you don't know that because you're in the ring. And when you're in the ring, things are going 1,000 miles an hour. All right. Let's see here. So we're loving yourself, right? So also to love yourself is to have empathy for the people who are unable to meet your needs. That's a big one. Why couldn't daddy and mommy tell me they love me? Well, how they grow up. What they see. So you're expecting them to change and give you what you need, and they haven't done the work on themselves. That's a big one to swallow. I get that a lot. That's hard. You need to remember they are human. And when you're human and you come from a fragmented world, childhood, and the parents come from trauma themselves and they didn't do the work, how are they going to meet those needs that you desire or require or want or need? Very important. You got to understand that. So consider the source of where the information is coming from. Okay? So they say that you made mistakes. I wouldn't call them mistakes. I would say they were just survival decisions. That's what I like to call them. They were survival decisions. It doesn't make you right or wrong, good or bad. It's just that's what you did at the time to get through the pain. Okay? And so you got to really think about that we'll call it you were asleep at that time. You were the walking dead. You're punching the time card of life to get through life so you can get through another day. And all it is about survival. It's about emotional and social survival. And when that happens, you do what is shall we say normal at the time. Hello, Olga, what's happening? I'm here by myself. All right, so I'm gonna throw a lot of knowledge on this, so be ready. All right, we're talking about how to love yourself with one question, and how to forgive yourself. So right now we're talking about how do you love yourself, and a quick synopsis is to understand the emotions involved, understand what needs were never met, and by whom, and by understanding, having empathy for the individuals who were unable to meet your needs growing up. Because one of the biggest questions is, how do you love yourself if you've never seen it? So that was the big question my client asked me the other day. Our goal was, how do you love yourself? And if you've never seen it, you don't know even where to start. So it's my responsibility or my job to get them to understand how the neglect and abandonment and all the abuse that happened over the years, there's no way you're going to see yourself in a good light, because the people who were unable to meet your needs at that time, right, carry the most weight. They carry the most influence. So whatever they said that was negative, life diminishing, and hurtful will come into your brain. You'll process it. You'll hold on to it and relive those words, physical or verbal or psychological or emotional. And now you're supposed to go through life trying to love yourself. That is a difficult task to take on when you have no clue and you've never seen it. Because I asked a client, I said, what does bonding look like? Give me an example if you were bonding with your mother, and she stared at me and she kept going, I don't know. I've never seen it. And that's my point. So now we got to create the fantasy situation or conversation to see what it would look like, and then we have to plant that into their world. Well, what would it have looked like if you were bonding with your mother, we'll say? And they would say, hopefully, well, she's holding my hand, telling me that I'm glad you're my daughter. Something like that. Something personal, something touching, something close, okay? So with our 12-step system, the first 2 steps are awareness and understanding. You got to know where this comes from. The reason you are unable to love yourself is because guess what? Look where you come from. So you have to have an awareness around that. You have to understand that. Then you need empathy for the people who are unable to meet those needs, right? They don't know. They don't. So how are they going to pass it on to the next generation? And that's where you get the cyclical generational pain constantly over the years until somebody wakes up and decides to do something different. Okay? That's what happens. So, and they say give yourself a break. Absolutely, give yourself a break. You were only doing what you were doing at that time because that's all you knew. Those are all the tools you had, limited nonetheless. That was all the information you had, limited nonetheless. So what do? You do the best you can. It's when you wake up, you wake up from our 7-step system at the final step international. When you wake up and you're enlightened, you go, oh my God, now I see why I was not able to move forward, right? And then a lot of emotions start coming out. We'll call it purging. Anger, frustration, sadness, all these emotions, because if I would have known then what I know now, it would have been different. Yes, that's true. However, you did not. Therefore, now you're going to wake up. From this point on, where you are now in life is going to be different from how you lived your life in the past. Okay? So to love yourself is to understand your situation, understand how you participated in it in your way, even though some of the things a person may have done is detrimental, but in that moment, that's all they can do. So give yourself a break. You did the best you can with what you had at the time, okay? Then you have some acceptance around this. Accept what you did. It's okay. Yes, I did that because I had to do it. That's all I knew what to do, and that's it. I keep picking these people, even though they're not really good for me, because that's all I know. I keep doing that situation because that's all I know. I don't know how to hug. I don't know how to get close to somebody because I'm afraid, because I've been rejected my whole life. Okay? So those are the kind of things that ruminate in our mind constantly, right? That make us do what we do. Okay? So another thing, so let's start fading this down. Okay, so we understand how to love yourself is to understand where your main people, caretakers usually, were unable to meet your needs. Give them a break. You're not the bad person, you're the person. They're not the bad people, they're just the people doing the best they can. Once you get that acceptance around, then we can start having what is known as a value shift. Okay? You can start shifting your beliefs. Wow, my parents, I'm going to use those as examples because that's what I deal with, weren't able to be there because of their inability to show, because of their past, and they haven't worked on it, so they didn't improve, they didn't heal, they didn't do the work. Wow, I get it. So it wasn't about me, never was. Never was. Okay? So after you have that shift, you need to start believing, okay, so what do I do now? And an example was my new client. Her request was, I want to learn how to love myself. Right? I said, okay, we got that. But we gotta go do some healing over here, right? Get the inner child, right? The wounded child, the abandoned child. It's going to need to be healed before we can move forward. Because what's going to happen is, I got her, she's in school and she's the first one to go to college, that sort of thing. And she's doing the thing. But guess what could happen? And I talked about this with her. You could have the imposter syndrome. And the imposter syndrome means I don't believe I deserve, I belong. I don't believe I deserve to be here with these individuals. Because she's never been told she was, she had talent. She's never been told she was intelligent enough. She's never been told any of this stuff. She's always been told, who do you think you are doing what you're doing? Why are you improving yourself? So you always keep getting constant jabs. So there's going to be constant work with her to get her to believe in herself that it's okay to be successful. See, this is the other problem we have. It's okay to be successful. It's okay to be happy. It's okay to watch this, to be selfish. Because some people are martyrs for their family and they do this. And they start you constantly give to others, making sure, oh, you got yours, but I got nothing, and I never get anything. So I deal with that. So in that situation, I'm getting to be selfish. What do you want, and only you? How far will you help? Okay? All that leads up to the final thing of applying what you now know, and you got to apply it. You're not going to be very good at it at the beginning because it's new. Then what we're going to do is this. The last step is to transform. You're going to be the person you always wanted to be, you just didn't know how. And once all the tools are in place, and you start applying and you start practicing, remember, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 forward, 3 back, right? 4 forward, 2 back. You're going to stumble because it's not easy because you've been doing it your whole life. All of a sudden, I come along and give you information to shift your mindset, right? To shift your mindset. That takes a while. All right? In other words, you're reborn. There's a new you going here, and now you've got to take this new you and apply it to the life you've been living. Right? Not easy to do, but manageable and can be done. I've seen it hundreds of times. Okay? Maybe thousands of times. Doing this a long time. So to love yourself is to know where you come from. All right? To know your past, to heal your past, and not personalize your past. So you can live in the present and the future, okay? So that's that question. How do you love yourself? Here's one. Here's the next question. The next question is this. How do you forgive yourself? How do you give yourself a break? And the 3 people I'm working with, man, they boom, they constantly beat themselves. Guilt is just running rampant, all right? So again, I do the same thing, all right? Why did you become this person? What did you do that was embarrassing now? You look back on it and it wasn't then. Why did you do the drugs? Why were you sleeping with many people? Why did you have so many kids? You know, why did you steal? Why did you do all this criminal behavior? You know, or detrimental behavior. It can be criminal, it can be personal, it can be all this life diminishing living that you now look back on and says, oh my God, I'm a horrible person. You're not a horrible person. You are the person who's doing the best they can with the information they have and with the wounds that you carry. Okay? So, forgive yourself again. All right? How do you forgive yourself? Give yourself a break. All right? You got to understand where you were at the time and the things you were doing. Okay? And also, see, you could look at them as learning experiences now, but then you couldn't because it's part of your life. It wasn't, wow, I made this mistake. I think I need to do better. How can I do better? You weren't thinking that way at the time. Now that you woke up, because you decided to hire me to help you understand you can look back and go and have guilt around it and say, wow, I'm a horrible person for doing that. You're not. You're the person, okay? So you just have to understand why that was important for you to do those things at the time. You remember that, at the time, okay? So if you learn from them, that's a win, all right? If you learn from the mistakes or learn from your experiences that were life diminishing. See, look at the difference between a mistake and an experience that was life diminishing. Okay? It was a mistake. Not really, because that's what you needed to do to get something done, even though it's trauma, even though it was traumatic to you or the people around you. Was it a diminishing life experience? It could be because it didn't enhance your life. You didn't improve from it.
Thank you.
It kept you in this, what do you call it? This whirlpool of negativity and all kinds of darkness. Okay. But also you got to process it.
Are people asking questions?
We have one. Olga's here.
Yeah.
And so ask any questions if you have. But also notice most people are self-critical with themselves. They beat themselves up for what they did. Okay? Your inner critic, we'll call it. And your inner critic says, you should have known better. Why didn't you know better? Well, how do you know better if you don't know how to do better because no one teaches you? You're asking this monumental task to change something or to have some sort of, what do you call that? Yeah, to change something that you have no idea how to change because you don't even know it exists. So that being said, be mindful of your inner critic. And I saw that in my client the other day when she made a comment about, she got a 4.0 in some class, right? And she made sure subconsciously she put a dig in there. But it's only 4 weeks long. Well, what's the point? Hold on, I didn't ask for all that. I just said, well, you told me, you shared that you got this grade point average, which was wonderful. Then you come by and undercut it by saying it was only 4 weeks long. So that's what I'm talking about. How we carry those negative images or those slights that we carry in our back pockets, ready to criticize ourselves because we are not ready to forgive ourselves yet, and go back to the first question, we are not ready to love ourselves. So when we love ourselves, what do? We do good things that are positive for ourselves. We can exercise, we eat right, we do healthy things, we set boundaries, we take care of ourselves by hanging out with people who are good, right? Or family, member of our family. Or we limit our contact with certain family members that are social vampires, right? Think about that. Social vampires, we got them. If you're not making my life better, there's no reason for me to stay around. Okay? What else is there? We got a few minutes here left. We have a few minutes.
Okay.
Notice when you are being self-critical. Yeah, notice when you're beating yourself up. So when she made that comment about her grades, she didn't even notice she did it. That's how deep it runs. So that's what you got to take a step back and go, am I taking jabs at myself unconsciously, realizing that I still don't love myself or I haven't forgiven myself?
What did we do? Who said that?
Okay. A client said that. So.
Okay. Hi, kids.
So that's what's up.
Okay. What's up? Ooh,
quiet your negative messages in your inner critic. So anyway.
Oh, we're not recording.
We're not?
Oh boy.
Okay. We got it over here.
Right. So I guess we're not recording anywhere. Okay, guys. So
nothing.
Here I am. I had another meeting. Oh, look at these glasses. Okay, guys. So yeah, he was totally on the serious here. So here it is. The tips. So one of the words that we should really take away, or we can, or we might, if it's possible, to take away from your vocabulary is I can't, I am not able to. And one of the words that I used to say is, I'm afraid. And I think I never really said it out loud, I'm afraid. It came up. I think it was either one of my doctors brought it to my attention or one of my coaches that in one of the sessions that I had, I said, I'm not able to, or something like that. And she was the one that brought it up to my attention. And it's something that I never realized that I used to say so much. And all that came about in my process of healing. So if you are able to, when you speak, words to take out of your vocabulary is, I'm not able to, is it I can't?
It's usually I can't.
Yes.
Yeah, because I can't means you've given up. I'm unable to means you've probably given it a shot. You tried and said, some of this is not working out.
Yeah.
So stop doing something that to me is you got to know your limits or something. You got to know your limits or enough is enough, right. And that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, can I run a 5-minute mile? Yes. In my dreams.
And how long will it take?
So I will say this.
You would be able
I can't run a 5-minute mile. Ain't gonna happen. I'm not able to run a 5-minute mile. No. But in my dreams I can. I'm a world record holder, shoot.
He does everything in his dreams.
Absolutely,
yes.
I'm good.
Yeah, so that's one of the things, and if people ever ask you, or like people even say, you can't do that, who are they to tell you what you can and cannot do? So don't ever put obstacles in your way. Always do your best, and don't allow somebody else to tell you what you're able to do or not able to do. So negative chatter is what negative chatter is what they call it. So that's in part of loving yourself. And did we talk about forgiving yourself?
Yes.
So what tips and tools did you tell them about forgiving yourself?
I ran it down. To forgive, to acknowledge, what was that? Oh, forgive? Oh yeah, absolutely. To acknowledge mistakes, not mistakes, negative experiences.
Yes.
Right? And be careful of your inner critic.
Yes.
And understanding that the behavior you did was detrimental at the time. You didn't know that. You were doing it to survive, being it take the drugs, stealing the car, whatever the case may be, right? The quarantine. Yes, I am surviving. I am hunting mammoth as we speak. I got to go out in a few minutes and hunt some saber-toothed tigers.
Brushes his beard and his hair like 10 times a day.
Hey, I never had this. We never had hair.
Now we're fighting over the comb and the brush. It is insane.
Haven't done this since 1975. Anyway.
Right. Please. And he brags about using, what is it?
VO5. Anybody heard of VO5? Maybe you guys are too young.
I didn't even know.
It is a hair conditioner.
I didn't even know.
It gives me a soft curl. Look at that. Look at that wave.
Soft curl. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have beachfront property right here. What are you going to do?
We're going to use it as commercial.
I can't copy my son. It's over.
Right.
He's got the dandelion look. I have the beachfront.
He has real hair.
Yeah. Plus the shoreline. It's the shoreline. It's it. There you go. Anyway.
Hysterical.
So, that being said, I look like a philosophy professor.
Yes, this is bad. This is all. Yeah.
It's going to go away. This will go away.
Too,
we'll
babe.
see. We'll see. What else? Are we done? Are we done?
No.
What?
How to forgive themselves.
Yes. All right. To forgive yourself, right? Acknowledge the mistake. Okay. Yeah, I'm keeping going. Yeah, we got it. Okay. So acknowledge what you did at the time. You did it because you needed to do it to get your need met, even though it was tragic.
Right.
You're not a bad person. You're just the person.
Yeah. And don't beat yourself up. Don't beat yourself up. And if it's about parenting, one of the things the other day I said, and it just, I'm wise. And the other day I said, how is it that kids don't come with a manual? However, you get a car and it comes with a manual like yay thick. Nobody ever reads a manual anyways, but you get a manual. You give birth and they send you home with diapers.
That's the easy part, the birth.
Right. And then they send you home with diapers and they don't even say jack about anything else. And so everything is trial and error with these kids. And then they grow up and they're 30-something. And then they tell you that you were a helicopter parent and that you never gave them a chance to break a bone. And you're like, I could fix that. You're 35, you want to have a broken bone? I could do this now. And so you're thinking by overprotecting them, you are for reals.
Yeah, the first one pays.
First child.
The first one pays.
So, and you're thinking that by taking care of them and overprotecting them and not allowing them to break a bone or two, you're just the best parent in town. And then they get older and they're like, no, you never allowed us to break a bone and to get a scratch and experience this and experience that. And you're like, I'll be a monkey's uncle.
Wow.
So forgive yourself.
Are you forgiving yourself?
Oh, hell yeah. I want to
comes.
break their bones now.
That's forgiveness.
No, no, don't do that. Don't do that. That's not good. Breaking their bones now is not
but you're
good.
telling them, what are you telling these people?
I'm telling you guys not to do that. Don't break bones.
Wow.
That was just a Cuban parent.
That sure was. That Cuban parent thing. Woo.
Yes. So what I'm saying is forgive yourself as a parent. You did the best you could at the time. You most likely didn't have the best tools, and that was it.
Okay.
And that was probably generational shaming.
Yeah.
And the
Cuban style.
curse, you know.
But it comes in all kinds of style. I've seen it from all. It just depends.
You learn from your parents, and at some point you become wise enough, like I am now, and you hopefully don't continue to make that mistake with your grandbabies. You will learn. Yes.
That's why we're ostracized. We're not allowed to come around. Oh well.
Yes, guys, but really, seriously, I'm putting all, craziness aside. Forgive yourself and love yourself. Because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it.
But, okay, here I'm going, you know how I am. I'm like, all right, here we go. This is it, because we've got to wind this down.
Yes.
You need to know how to love yourself. Why you didn't love yourself in the first place.
Didn't you already tell them
Why
that?
you didn't forgive yourself in the first place. Yeah, we talked about the beginning. So look at the beginning of the tape. I go through all this. So it's nice to say it, but you got to understand it first. Remember, understanding and awareness first too?
Yes.
Then acceptance around that, and then the shift. That's our 7-step program you can download for free.
Right.
Right?
So you guys, check out our new website.
Yeah, we got a new
just
website.
launched it.
I finally know what I do.
Right.
Whoa.
After 7 years. So go to our website, download our 7-step program. It walks you through it. You know, the understanding, the acceptance around why you do what you do. Once you do that, you could even, I'm working on it right now, you could even do, we have a discovery session that we offer for free. No strings attached. There's not an upsell unless you absolutely want to work with one of us. You could do that. And now I'm also offering hypnotherapy. I love it.
Pretty good at it.
Yes. Thank you, Mr.
Gotta
Odin.
give her that one.
Or just take advantage of the 30-minute discovery session. And really the reason that we're doing this is because of COVID and the fact that as entrepreneurs, we're getting all this information about finances, really just about finances, wanting to give us loans and actually get us more in debt as entrepreneurs. And so we realized that in our group, nobody is offering us any type of mental wellness. And so we started talking to the other entrepreneurs and we're like, yeah, so we're doing this more for for the mental health.
Mental healthness. That's what we're doing it for. So you can burn. Wow. Really?
Mental wellness. I was just on the.
That's going to be seared in their memory. Well, welcome to our mental healthness. May you suffer as we're on this COVID-19 hibernation path. Let me see if it's burning out there.
The movie was so strong because we don't have coffee cream, so I had to do it. But anyways, so yes, right now it really is mental health.
Mental healthness.
But we're really trying to keep it together. This morning we started early. I didn't have a chance to meditate today or anything like that. So, so we're trying to keep it together. We're doing this as much for you guys as it is for us. Really, this is all I have. As a matter of fact, we even bought an Xbox 360 so we could ball and...
I suck.
Yeah, we're even doing boxing with an avatar. Not with each other.
Not with the grandson who kicks your butt.
Right. So next week...
What's next week?
We don't even have something for next week, but still... We'll be here next week. Wait a minute, let me look because I know we had. So we'll be here next week. Thursday, 10 o'clock, Zoom session. Again, we're calling this our office hour.
Or half hour.
Or half hour, whatever it takes. So we'll be here for sure. And, if you guys have a topic that you want us to talk about. Last week it was relationships in business. And then the kids Last week was kids. Last week was a really good week, I must say. So next week we'll see what we'll talk about, but we definitely will be here 10 o'clock. Any questions, send it our way. You guys want to, so email address is info@FinalStep International. We're rebranding everything Final Step International. Also, if you want the discovery session, you could also book it through our new website. And also download the 7-step system through the website as well. It was great seeing you guys. We have been paying so much attention to Facebook that we have forgotten our peeps on Zoom. And we truly apologize, you guys. Today we started without me, and Michael tried to do his best on Zoom, and he forgot to start recording from the beginning. But we are live on Facebook. I will save the recording if we can. I don't know how it works on there. And I'll definitely try to upload it to YouTube, to our YouTube channel, like I've done in the past. And I truly apologize. I know that Zoom is, you guys are our people as well. We never meant to do this double teaming on Facebook, but we're trying to bring our Facebook people onto Zoom. So please, we didn't mean to ignore you guys at all, but you guys know I wasn't here at the beginning. So, see you guys next week, next Thursday,
Next week.
10 o'clock. Let us know if there's a topic we have not touched on.
Yeah, send a topic in.
Yeah, but definitely, you guys know that mental wellness, mental health,
I like that. Hellness.
in
Wow.
business is really what this is all about. So maybe next week we're going to talk about, I heard that there's something called like study pods that the parents are doing, which I think is fabulous.
Parents with, the school situation.
Yeah, the school
We're gonna talk about
situation.
that.
We're going to definitely, that's a topic.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that because I have grandbabies.
Kids aren't going to school.
Yeah, the
parents gotta do
8-year-old
this
has me all crazy about this whole distance studying or something.
Yeah, distance studying, basically it is.
The 3 and 4 year, the 3-year-old's going to be 4, but his mom's got this totally. She's like,
all right, Lena. You can say goodbye.
Okay, guys.
Let's go to Cuban goodbye.
That's a Cuban goodbye. Air hugs. Take care, you guys. Karen and love you and the boys.
That's it. I'm glad they're doing well. I'm glad they're doing well.
Guys.
Wow, really.
Okay, Zoom guys. Thank you, my USC crew. Thank you guys for showing up. Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
Michael's just such a ham. Oh, he forgot to finish.